Hello, my dear friends. Today I want to talk about the picture of the Rasha who appears in the Pesach Hagadah. You know that in the Hagadah it says that there are 4 types of children, 4 archetypes, Chacham, Rasha, Tam, and any of the Lishon. And that's because in the Torah there's 4 different discussions of the conversations between the father and the child, and there's subtle differences. And based on those nuances, Chazal say, this one is this type of child, this one is that. And 3 out of the 4 children appear in this week's Parasha. So one of them is the Rasha. Now before Pesach, I think they still do it. Harvard's Margaret and the Shevitz, they mass produce Haggadahs, English, Hebrew, for people to take for free in the supermarkets. This has been going on since I was a child, so it's a long time ago. Maybe I think some of the coffee companies do it. So they have pictures in these Haggadahs that they distribute of different things. But one of the pictures is a picture of each one of the 4 children. So how would, if you were an artist, how would you depict the 4? Specifically, I want to talk about the Ben HaRasha. How would you depict the Rasha? So in some of the Haggadahs, the Rasha is smoking a cigar. He's got this big cigar, and he's the Arba Banim are young children. So he's a young boy, and he's not just smoking a cigarette, he's smoking a cigar, and the smoke is all over the place. That's the symbol of the Ben HaRasha. Or in some of the Haggadahs, he's got one of these sheets for betting on the horses. He's a bettor, and he's following maybe he's at the tracks and he's betting on the horses. That's the Ben HaRasha. So let me ask you, if you had to depict the Ben HaRasha, what would you, which Avera would you show that he's to demonstrate through the imagery that he's a Ben HaRasha? What would he be doing? Maybe you would have somebody who's barbecuing a side of ham, and that's the Ben HaRasha. What is it that would show in pictures? You want to be able to give the imagery. What would be the imagery of the Ben HaRasha? So I think they all missed the boat. That's the wrong way to depict the Ben HaRasha, because the Hagadah says, "Ma ha'avodah zos lechem." What does the Ben HaRasha say? What's this stuff for you? What's this work for you? What identifies him as a Rasha is that he thinks that everything is for the other guy. That when God spoke to the Jewish people, he wasn't speaking to me, he was speaking to them. There's an old joke, I've told it many times. There was a rabbi came home very, very frustrated. His wife says, "What's wrong?" He says, "I was such a hard day. I had to speak to the Yemenite." She says, the Yemenites, there's no such thing as Yemenites. There's Yemenites. People who come from Yemen are Yemenites, but we don't even have Yemenites. What do you mean you spoke to the Yemenites? He says, "No, I insist. I spoke to the Yemenites." So she said, "What's the Yemite?" So now, if you don't know Yiddish, the joke is going to be killed, but let me tell you what. The word Yenem in Yiddish means the other one. So the rabbi said, "No, I didn't speak to the Yemenites. I spoke to the Yenemites," because whoever was there said, he's talking to Yenem. He's talking to the other guy. He's not talking to me. He's talking to the other guy. The Rasha has this quality of the Yenemites. Who said? Because in Haggadah it says, what gives away that he's a Rasha? He says, "Ma ha'avodah zos lachem." What's this work for you? It means God is talking to you, not to me. And that identifies him as a Rasha. A Rasha does not hear the message for himself. The Rasha always sees it, he understands it in a profound way for somebody else, but he doesn't see it for himself. That's the giveaway that he's a Rasha. The fish that he holds the asim in the car, he excludes himself from the group, and he says, "Ma ha'avodah zos lechem." That's the whole thing. And he says, "What's this for you? You're the one that has to do this, not me." He believes in the Yemenite philosophy, and that's the giveaway. I would say, if you want to draw a picture of a Rasha, here's my picture. That would be the Rasha. That the Rasha doesn't hear what you're having to say. He's not interested. He doesn't want to hear. He closes his ears. Or you can have earplugs, big earplugs. Or you can have these ear covers to show that he's not listening. But whatever it is, the Rasha is the person that doesn't listen. That's what identifies the person as a Rasha. Why is that so terrible? So he's not so interested. He's indifferent. He's callous. He doesn't care. So the answer is because if a person doesn't listen, if a person thinks they're talking teganim to the other guy, then it's impossible for the person to change throughout their lifetime. I'm perfect, and nobody is criticizing me. They're talking to somebody else. Even the Torah is not talking to me. Even God is not talking to me. He's talking lachem, v'lo. He's talking to them and not to me. You're not to us as a group. What was the greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe Rabbeinu was in the desert. He sees the burning bush. He says, "Asura na ve'era lama lo yivar asna." I have to see, why is the bush not burning? And the Chumash, God said, "Vayar Hashem kisar liros," that God saw that Mordechai turned off the path in order to see. What was the big deal here? It's because in order to be a person who grows, you have to be interested in what's going on around you. And there has to, if there's a burning bush, it's a miracle. Something's happening. There has to be some explanation. What does it say for me? Asura Nova Era. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to see what lesson I can learn from the burning bush. And that's the difference between a tzaddik and a rasha. A tzaddik always is introspective, always looks to see, what does this say about me? Am I falling? If he listens to somebody give a drasha, or if he's reading the words in the Torah, he's reading a sefer, he's always thinking about what is the takeaway for me. But the Rasha insulates himself, and he says, "Ma avodah azos lechem." It's for you. That's what makes him a Rasha. Not that he goes to play the pool, or not because he bets on the horses. That doesn't make him a Rasha. It's because he's not interested in paying any attention to what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to say. And that was the strength of Moshe Rabbeinu, was that he said, "Asura of era." I'm going to take a look. I have to understand why this is happening. And God sends us messages all the time. And it's easy to deflect the message and not pay attention and to say, it's the Yemenite. God is doing this, or if there's problems in our personal life, or problems in the community, it's always Yenim, the other guy. He's to blame. He's at fault. The society, we talk about society today being morally deficient and decrepit. It's true, but people, they only relate to the rest of society. It has nothing to do with me. I don't do my own. I don't contribute. It's Yenim. It's the other guy. The focus has to be on ourselves. What way could we make ourselves better? Famous story, Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. Also, you've heard this so many times. Rabbi Yisrael was passing by the market late at night, and he saw there was a shop that was still open, and he said to the shop owner, "Rabbi Yid, why are you open so late?" And he says, "You see, the candle, as long as there's oil in the candle, there's work to be done." And Rabbi Yisrael took that to heart. He thought that the person was talking to him. And the person was saying, as long as there's oil in the candle, there's work to be done. As long as you have the energy and the strength, there's things that have to be done. And he went home and he reviewed that phrase hundreds and hundreds of times. That's really the essence of what Musar is all about. Rabbi Yisrael was the great innovator of the Musar movement. The key element of Musar is that a person has to think about, what does this say to me? What is God asking from me? What is God's anticipation? Where do I fall short? That's the essence of Musar. So rather than have a picture in the Hagadah of somebody that's betting on the horses or smoking cigars or things of that sort, maybe I'll write them a letter and suggest it to them. Or you could write them a letter and quote me. You could say that I suggested that for the Rasha, it's not what the Rasha is doing, other than that he's not paying attention, he's not listening. That makes him into the Rasha, and that's something that we need to work on in our own lives. Not only Pesach time, throughout the year, that We want to be identified with the tzaddik, not with the Rasha. The tzaddik is the person that's constantly asking, what does this have to do with me? How can I change my life and make improvements?